Movie watching is a tradition that truly made its mark on the world during the 20th and 21st centuries. A good movie is a beautifully told story that's enhanced through elements like plot, cinematography, and acting. But it also uses its score, which is an unfamiliar concept for many casual moviegoers. A score is a musical composition for a movie or a theatrical production. Very often, it's called the background music, but it's also known as the soundtrack. The score carries from the moment you sit in the theater all the way to the end of the credits, and of course the post-credits scene. Even if you are unaware of it, it's there. There are melodies that affect the way you breathe, the way you react, the way you see the film, the way you think you know what's about to happen. I like to think of it as Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars. He's there, he's powerful, but some people don't recognize that he's there as much as others. The score is very much analogous to those types of hidden characters. Something in this auditorium just changed. My background music just stopped. You may have noticed that it was there, playing behind me, accompanying me while I'm speaking, but it's enhanced everything in my talk thus far and will for the rest of my time. This is the same process that every film composer goes through when developing the score. They might watch a certain piece of footage thousands of times, trying to piece together melodies and harmonies that just seem to work. And this watching of footage and writing pertains to every single shot of the film. Why does so much thought go into this? Simple. The writer's job is to craft characters who go through the plot and undergo development. The composer's job is to craft possibly an even more important character who accompanies everyone and everything throughout that plot. Let's take a look at a popular scene from a movie called Up, which came out in 2009. It starts off with Carl and Ellie while they get married and is beautiful, happy, and loving. But as we move through Carl and Ellie's incredibly sad life, the tone switches to more melancholy and dark. How does this happen? The composer, Michael Giacchino, starts with a lovely melody in a key called F major, which sounds happy and without error. Throughout the sad parts of the song, though, he transitions to a darker key called D minor, which sounds unstable and unsteady. Now, although someone with no knowledge of music theory might not be able to say, this is a major key, this is a minor key, there's certainly a shift in tone throughout the scene. We're witnessing something so incredibly sad. The tone of the music boosts that, especially since there are no words. The music's job in this scene is to enhance everything. Feelings of joy and sorrow are only procured by the score in the background. Another way scores make a difference is through foreshadowing. Take Avengers: Infinity War. During the Infinity War, we witness Gamora, a central character, die at the hands of her father, Thanos. While this scene takes place, an ominous and emotion-deriving track plays, titled Even For You. In Endgame, the movie's sequel, we see a bit of parallel action, but with Black Widow and Hawkeye instead of Thanos. They all have the same goal, to retrieve what's known as the Soul Stone. But in order to do it, one must sacrifice that which he loves. This scene is so suspenseful. It is only Black Widow and Hawkeye with sparse lines of dialogue and the score that's playing in the background. And the score in the two scenes actually have the same melody. That repeated melody is what tells you what's going to happen. That melody is actually playing behind me right now, credit given to composer Alan Silvestri. Silvestri didn't need a huge visual cue or dialogue to tell you what was going to happen. He used the character of music. And because everyone knew what was coming, everyone was listening, even though they maybe weren't aware of it, they knew what was coming. These types of repeated melodies that indicate events, characters, or themes is called leitmotif. Leitmotif originates in German. Breaking it down, it means light, which translates to leading, and motif, which translates to motive, which in music means a certain phrase or melody. So leitmotif together translates to leading phrase, which makes sense because it leads you to the next element of the story. Leitmotifs are used all over the place in music, and especially using foreshadowing. Someone who isn't a musician might not notice these things at first, but we can all learn to notice these things. They are in the back of our minds, telling us what is going to happen and when, even if we don't know that it is. The score is such a pivotal part of the film. Once you tap into it, it'll only provide you with a world of difference that helps you to enjoy the movie more. Continuing with my Star Wars metaphors, it's not only Emperor Palpatine, but it's also the Force. It's a balancing part of the movie's nature that guides you throughout everything going on in the world of the film. It's capable of bringing you nostalgia, sadness, and even euphoria during the happy parts. Don't let the score sink back into invisibility. Why not use the Force to your advantage? Thank you.